Hello, this is Larissa on my felting fun adventure, and in the two previous videos I am still staying on the felting using Pashmina scarf as a foundation. So in my two previous videos I have reviewed my experiments felt in different fabrics. That was video number 1. Look for that, it's very interesting. Then the experiments kind of got even more interesting, and I review the details in my second video. Take a look at them. And today in this video I want to share with you my yesterday's experiment. It was not a huge success, and I'm kind of bewildered, but I will still share it with you. So yesterday, this piece, I did not use my Pashmina foundation as I did in the two previous videos. And the lighting here is a little uneven, so my apologies, but I hope we'll still be able to do that. So this piece I did not use, as I mentioned, a Pashmina foundation. I just used wool. I used viscose, and I used different pieces. And I did try to attach all of them in a similar fashion as I have been doing in the previous, that I've done in the previous video, in the previous experiment, where it was a super successful test. And in this one, two glaring holes here are where the pieces of silk just wouldn't felt, and they fell off. So overall, we have reviewed how this piece of silk knit fabric knitted in the previous one. Let me just show it since it's right here. It was a lot lighter and more flexible, and kind of the texture was I liked it more. This one, maybe because I've used more wool, thicker wool. I don't know what was that in those tiny little packages that I have used, but the wool penetrated the fabric a lot more. You could see it here a little bit more pronounced, like in these corners, etc. So that was not what I was after. The same with this piece of fabric that was very successfully felted in the previous one, but maybe because the wool that I used here, it also went through the, look how beautifully it felted here. With some hair coming through, but not as, and giving me a prettier kind of terrain, if you wish, prettier structure. So, but this one I could live with, and that was still interesting and lovely. And if the wool was not yellow sticking out here, it might have been better. So, the two silks felted lovely, and two pieces totally fell off. Overall, this piece, the beautiful part though, okay, the beautiful part, the viscose backing turned out beautifully. It's almost like a little piece of wool. Let me just zoom out a little bit so you could get a better idea. And so where I used yellow wool, it gives this nice, beautiful tint, and is overall lovely. It's much thicker piece, would be good for an outside, like kind of winter, you know, like thicker jacket or something like that, or even a pillow cover or something that you want this. It doesn't behave as flexibly as this one. Look, I could bend it lovely, and the biggest difference is, I believe, even though that has a Pashmina foundation backing or carrier fabric, the wool is thicker here, and that was it. So that was a slight disappointment, I would say, but still good to know. Good to know. So, but yesterday I also had a beautiful success that I will share with you right now. This is using the same backing, the same last Pashmina piece, you know, like I now have 3 pieces, like this one, and that was the last of the Pashmina pieces. And you see this little dots? I added some pieces of fleece. Okay, now let's just do the reveal. I thought it was just beautiful. So let me tell you what I did. I used the carrier fabric facing down, was the Pashmina that you're well familiar with right now. Then I used a fairly thin layout of wool. And the reason I kind of felt at liberty to do that is because I didn't worry about leaving holes or whatnot. And it gives a nice kind of stretch. This kind of textile would make a nice hat or something where a little pool works great. And mind you, the fabric, the Pashmina itself didn't stretch as much before felting, so that felting gives that. So I used wool blend fiber yarn that I got somewhere, and I thought the curls would turn out differently, but I had a few pieces of fleece like that that I tried to see. I don't know how to make it stand out better. Let's use this background fabric. I used a few pieces of fleece like that, and they curled out in their own way and not exactly what I anticipated. I thought it would be something like this, but instead they decided to curl up in their own way, and it's kind of they're very 3D. They're sticking out and kind of creates little funny flowers and dots and kind of added fun to the piece. So that I didn't mind. The wool adhered beautifully, and I love the so we see viscose fibers here, right? And it looks beautiful, I think. I love it. So yesterday it made up for my previous failure. And the backing is also, the backside is also lovely. So that combination, I think, would make for a beautiful reversible tunic or vest. I'm obsessed. I live in, it's cool here right now in upstate New York, and getting a little, like, see this little flower, I could put a little bead there and that would make it whatever. So, but that's all I wanted to share with you today, and really upset about this piece. My today's experiment, and that's what I will share with you in my next video, will be just, I have these 2 sleeves of that I'm sacrificing, and I will do one sleeve with using this kind of, I don't know what kind of wool it is, but it is not super fun. I mean, it's just maybe 20, 21 merinos. It's a merino wool, and let's see, yeah, I could see a little better this way, and I will use that to lay out on silk. I will be doing silk facing down, then I will lay that and maybe add a thin layer of viscose. That would be experiment number 1. And the next one, I will find the same sleeve. So we only change one element in the experiment. One variable is a proper way to say that. We will change one variable, and that variable will be the thickness of the wool. I want to find out what's the secret of a good texture, consistent, reliable texture. So stay tuned, and thank you so much for watching. I hope my videos encourage you to experiment with the goodies that you've got. But since I have assimilated, I couldn't help. Every time I go second-hand store and I see beautiful silk dresses or beautiful silk pashmina that are under $10, and probably 5 or 7, that's my average kind of price, I couldn't help buying them. So a dress like that, if I, let me zoom out. This is my just kind of justification if you're wondering why am I wasting silk pieces, because I have a whole bunch of lovely dresses like that. So the sleeves used to be here, right? So I'm sacrificing the sleeves for the experiment, so you and I could both figure out the combination that works. So I have a whole bunch of them, boxes of those kind of things, and this is why I am on a quest of figuring out how to make these beautiful silks felted, because I don't want to do quilts, because if I just wanted to do only felting, I probably wouldn't spend much time, energy, and stuff and resources, yeah, because there's so much stuff you can do just with plain felting. But plain felting does not fit into my picture at this stage, so this is why I am sacrificing certain pieces of nice silks so that I could come up with a formula that works, that would allow me to utilize my collection. And if you go thrift shopping and you see beautiful pieces of silk, yeah, maybe you'll get encouraged too. Thanks so much for watching, and good luck with your experiments.